Today's topic is decoding learning, pedagogical models and approaches for effective teaching and learning. So, my name is Sai Chandana and I am the subject matter expert in biology at Next Education. So, let's start this particular topic, which is all about pedagogical models and approaches. So, before starting the session, I would like to ask you that do you know the difference between curriculum and a pedagogy? Yes? I expect a very interactive session today. Can I get the responses? What is the difference between pedagogy and a curriculum? No one? Uh, are you listening to the session?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, do you know what is the
Yeah.
difference between a pedagogy and a curriculum?
Curriculum is the syllabus, what we plan, and pedagogy is the plan, how it will be implemented, what strategies will be followed to teach you all that.
Correct, correct. Absolutely. So, let us continue. This is the contents of today's session. And what is pedagogy? So, as one of the participant has said, that pedagogy is the way of teaching, and curriculum is actually what you teach. For example, I can take you an analogy that curriculum is the ingredient. So, when you try cooking a particular dish, the ingredients which you add into that particular item to in order to make that particular dish is the curriculum. Whereas the recipe which you are following, that what ingredient should be added first, what should be added next, and at last what you need to add, so all this thing which you actually call it as a recipe is nothing but the pedagogy. So I find this analogy very interesting, and it actually matches with this words of pedagogy and curriculum. So as I said, pedagogy is the art and science, or you could say a method of teaching, what method you follow while teaching in the class. And curriculum is nothing but what you actually teach in the class. So, mainly when it comes to pedagogy, it is all about shaped by the teacher's beliefs, what was her or his experiences, and what he understands when it comes to learning. And also, it focuses on whatever strategies you utilize and whatever processes or approaches you go through in order to teach your particular lesson is nothing but the pedagogy. When you go to the historical roots that who came up with this idea of pedagogy, it's all about the Greek philosophers such as Socrates, Plato and Aristotle. They are the one who actually thought about developing a particular mechanism of teaching, and that's what they have explored, that what learning is and how it should happen, and also how to facilitate or process it. So pedagogy, in the sense, mainly what we think about is that teachers and students both has to be the learners. It's not that teacher is just giving the traditional method of teaching, where she's just giving her input of knowledge to the students and students are just listening to it. So that is not how we actually go through, or how we actually follow in this modern pedagogical approaches, so that we are going to see in the next slides. So, why is this pedagogy important? Can anyone tell me, based on the reference given here, based on the image given, that why pedagogy is important to us? Yes, we have so many participants, but none of them are responding.
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, pedagogy is something that how we are going to deliver the knowledge in the
Mm-hmm.
best way so that it can be observed by most of the students.
Correct.
And they get to learn or know something that they were actually unaware before we had taught them. So we
Yes.
have to be very specific in using the pedagogies, like different pedagogies. Some people learn by seeing, some people learn by hearing, some people learn by writing. So we have to design our lesson plans in such a way that all these skills are being involved in it.
Yes, correct. So,
Actually, the pedagogy is meant for catering to all types of student in the classroom. Every year we observe different kind of students and accordingly we have to change our methods of teaching. And that is what is basically pedagogy designing and lesson planning.
correct, correct. Thank you for the responses. So, as you can see here on the image, that knowledge is something which is a very physical aspect, you could say, that you have many books to refer to, all which has varied content or varied amount of knowledge. And that knowledge helps if we want to understand that particular knowledge, or we want our students to understand that particular knowledge, pedagogy acts as a bridge to it. So, that is what I wanted to convey through this image, that teaching should be more engaging, student centric, not teacher centric, because our main focus here is the students and they need to understand this particular knowledge which you are trying to give to them. So it has to promote deep thinking, active collaboration and personalized learning. So let's see how it is done. So as Bhavika ma'am has already told, that there are varied variety of students in the class. So none of them, you could say, you can't group all the students into one particular, you can't say that they all have a particular learning style. So everyone has different. For example, you can see here the first being the auditory. So auditory students are the one who actually prefers to learn things by hearing and speaking. So they benefit mainly from the discussion, or when you say them to read aloud in the class, or when you explain certain concepts, when you ask them to explain certain concepts to their peers, that's how they learn things. And when it comes to tactile or kinesthetic, can anyone tell me what is kinesthetic? Yeah.
Learning by doing and
by
like
hand,
motor skills.
Yes, yes.
by
So it's all
hands-on
about,
activity.
sure, yes, correct, hands-on activity. So whatever they do, relate, I mean, by using their senses or by using movement, learning by doing, as one of you has said. So hands-on task, lab work, anything related to physical engagement, so all these comes under tactile learners. And next comes visual or spatial, the one who learns by seeing, like diagrams, or when you draw flow charts, 3D models, illustrations, so they easily get that knowledge or grasp that knowledge using visual aspects. And there are a set of students who prefers reading and writing. They learn best when they read, when they write text in their notebooks, and especially they are good at reading, note making and writing, and also written materials to reinforce the lectures. I could give an example here. As you can see, there's an image of a food buffet. So when you actually go for learning cooking in general, at that time there are various ways of people who learns this cooking in different ways. For example, there are auditory learners, so people who enjoy tasting food and also listening to the chef to and ask them that how this recipe has been done. They actually like to listen from the chef and learn how to cook. That is one set of learners. Then there are tactile learners who want to experiment. They want to take the ingredients, they want to add, experiment with it, and understand how that particular dish is made. Then comes visual learners who likes appealing stuff. They want their dishes to be very appealing, very well arranged, beautifully plated, etc. And then there is reading and writing learners who likes to write down the recipe, take notes about it, and then try it when they go home, right? So that is how you can say there are different learners within a classroom. So let's move forward. So here there is a page on multiple intelligences. Can anyone tell me what does this term refer to? What is multiple intelligence? Any idea? Yes? All the info is given in the slide itself.
Different types of like intelligence, maybe the interest part on subject or linguistic or that comes under multiple intelligence, I mean different types of tools which we can use, or with the options which we have for that is
Okay.
known as.
Yes, me. Yes, yes. So multiple intelligences. I got. Okay. All right. You're introducing yourself. Fine. So multiple intelligences is something like when you use multiple aspects, or you could say when you use your senses to learn things. So this is generally applicable to the lower grade students who it is very difficult to make them understand concepts. So when they use their senses in order to learn a particular concept, that would be very useful for them, and that will help them to grasp concept very clearly. For example, if I could say that if I want you to recall a particular favorite song of yours, that would be easy for you to recall when compared to if I ask you to recall a concept which you have learned in your bachelor's, right? I hope everyone is listening.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So recalling your favorite song is comparatively easier compared to a concept which you have learnt in your bachelor's. That is because you have used your senses, you have used your ears, you have heard the song, felt it. So that is how it is easy to remember it compared to a particular concept which you have read and written and understood it. So that is how this multiple intelligences works, that especially in our lower grade books of next science, we have included multiple intelligences in them, that there is naturalistic, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, where we have given group discussion kind of activities, linguistic, where they learn how to write, how to, particularly when it comes to English, this is how it works. And then there is logical, musical, intrapersonal, where they try to self reflect on things and write notes. And then visual spatial, where various audio visual modules and activity videos are available where students can learn from it. So that is how multiple intelligences works. Moving forward. Yeah. So, foundational models of learning. So, before the modern form of learning came up, there were certain foundational models which the philosophers has brought this into our notice. That is, first being empty vessel or transmission model. So, what does this particular model says is that student here is considered to be an empty vessel. That is, we consider students such that they do not have any knowledge about anything. We consider them to be a blank receiver of information, and teacher is the one who is the authoritative figure here, who is the source of knowledge and will deliver the content to the student. So that is what this particular model says. This is a kind of primitive model which has come up when it comes to different learning models. So here what we are doing is we are ignoring the fact that students have some prior knowledge already. So when they move from one class to another, we expect that they have some prior knowledge with them. But in this particular model, we highlight that there is no particular prior knowledge available with the students. So that is what this model says, empty vessel. Now coming to the next, which is blank tablet. So this is also a kind of similar to this empty vessel model, where we are saying that student, when from the time of birth, he is a blank slate, complete blank. He doesn't have any information about anything, no innate ideas, and knowledge comes from experiences is what this particular model says. And also the sensory input, according to the surroundings, whatever he gets information, so that is how he is building his knowledge. So that is what this blank tablet says. So it's a kind of neutral concept, you could say. And the role of the teacher in this case is that of who is the one shaping the learning through the environment, various activities the teacher gives to the students to do, and also the curiosity building which the teachers does. So this is all about blank tablet model. Then behaviorist model. So as the name suggests, can anyone tell me what is this behaviorist model? Any idea? By the name itself, what does it convey?
Uh,
If child,
the, the learning is based upon the student-teacher interaction, how the teachers provide stimulus.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
if the students give correct answers, so teacher should reward, give the reward or praise the child in front of everybody. So he will get or she will get the motivation
Yes,
to do
absolutely
their
right.
best. Yeah,
Yes,
that is the
yes.
behavior.
Yes, correct. So behaviorist model is nothing but it works on rewards. So learning happens based on the behavior changes a person undergoes throughout his lifetime. Okay, for example, generally it starts passive, but as the student learn by reacting to what happens around them. For example, I could say that if a child is in front of me, and I ask the child to say that whenever someone gives you something, you need to say thank you. Okay, so that's something we generally teach students, right? So that we need to say thank you. And when he implements that particular suggestion, and whenever someone gives him something and he says thank you, and in turn I praises him that okay, good girl or a good boy, so that's how he feels that okay, whatever I have done, I'm getting a reward for it. So this is something which I mean, I'm doing it in a good way. So that is how he's getting a reward for it. And he, next time onwards, whenever someone gives him, he'll definitely say a thank you. So that is how you're modeling the behavior of students. So that is what this particular model says. So Plutarch, one of the famous philosopher, he says that the mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. So can anyone tell me that what does this particular quote tells us? Yeah, just you can share your thoughts.
It just means that you have to encourage the students to think in the class and grasp the concept rather than dictating their knowledge or imparting their knowledge.
Yes. We just should not just keep on delivering the content to the student, because at one point of time they'll get bored. So Rajita,
I would
you
like to
have raised
add.
your hand.
I
Yeah.
would like to add something to it.
Yes, sure.
What it means is children come with some experiences and knowledge because they also observe.
Hmm.
So it is the responsibility of the adults, whoever is maybe teachers or parents, to understand that they come up with some knowledge and help them to make connections so that they learn better from whatever they know and they move forward.
Correct.
So yeah, through curiosity and yeah, giving some kind of rewards, whatever boosts their curiosity and learning. So I think that's what it conveys.
Yes, yes, it is right. Thank you for your inputs. So let's move forward. Now we are going across the same kind of models of learning which are available. Uh, the next one being Dunn and Dunn's learning style model. So Rita Dunn, one of the creators of this particular model, she says that if the child is not learning the way you are teaching, then you must teach in the way the child learns, right? Because you have to mold yourself based on how the students are, and you should not just feel you know I could say less in your self esteem that child is not learning according to your model of teaching. So that is not, it has to go, it should be the way around. So what Done and Done tells us that there are various elements when it comes to stimuli. Okay, for example, there are environmental stimuli, emotional stimuli, sociological stimuli, physiological stimuli, and psychological stimuli. So every student is different, and each one of them have experienced a different kind of stimuli. Yes, so when it comes to environmental aspect, it actually depends on the instructional area where you're teaching, that is the classroom where you're teaching. What kind of environmental aspect does it have? That is, how is the sound environment, whether it is too loud around you or whether it is peaceful, or how about the lighting, how about the temperature and the seating design, because everyone prefers it's different. For example, in my case, I really like when the environment is very calm, then only I'll be able to learn the things which I wanted to read. Okay, but when it comes to my friend, she likes the room to be very loud and noisy, then only she'll be able to learn, or else she need that peaceful music, she needs to listen to that, then only she'll be able to concentrate. So those kind of stimuli is what we are talking about when it comes to environmental elements. Then coming to emotional elements, so everyone has different kind of emotional elements they have gone through in their life, especially when it comes to students. That is, what amount of motivation do they have when it comes to learning, what kind of responsibilities do they have, whether they are just conforming to whatever teacher is saying, or are they cross questioning the teacher when the teacher is saying certain facts, and how is the task persistent, are they doing their homework regularly or not, and also how about the structure, so how are they structured in their mind. Then sociological elements as well, because some people prefer reading or studying alone, some likes to do it in a pair, some likes to have a small peer group of their own, some wants to do it in a large group. And also if some prefers that they have a teacher around them, then only they'll be able to concentrate in their studying. And some have again varies ways in which they could study. So that is the sociological elements. Then coming to physiological elements, that how do they perceive knowledge. So as we have seen earlier also, that there are different learners based on that is whether they prefer visual or tactile information, and auditory information, etc. So the same thing goes here, physiological elements, that what do they prefer, whether they prefer watching videos, whether they like listening, or whether they want to do some hands-on learning in order to understand, or whether they want to move around. So tactile, even kinesthetic, when we say some people prefer to walk around and learn things, some people prefer to sit and study. So there are various ways in which students need their environment to be, and their physiological elements to be when it comes to learning. And also the time of the day, some prefer to read during daytime, some prefer in the midnight, etc. And mobility I have told you, and psychological elements also, that whether they prefer analytical information or whether they want global aspects, they want to know about global aspect, whether they are impulsive or reflective. So all these things are been discussed actually in this Duns and Duns learning style model. Moving forward, Wolf and Kolb's learning style. So this is again something very interesting to know actually. So what this particular the creators of this model says, that when it comes to learning, it depends on three different aspects. It depends on genetics, it depends on the experience of the child, and also the environment in which he is studying or the environment in which he is living. So all these three things come together to decide the learning environment or decide the learning style he or she prefers. Okay, so here we have four, I could say, models or four types of learning styles, that is accommodators, divergers, convergers, and assimilators. So we'll see one by one. What does it say? So through this picture on the right side, you could see that it's actually a summary of this entire model. So I'll just explain you using this particular diagram. So what accommodating says is that first a child wants to experiment. Okay, he wants to do some hands-on activities to learn a particular thing. Through this experience, whatever he is gaining by doing, so he is going to utilize that, and he is going to feel, or you could say try to get what is he is doing, and he wants to gain knowledge out of that particular experience is gaining by doing. Okay, so this is a kind of accommodators, you could say. These kind of students are called accommodators. Then there is another set of students who likes to feel things first. Okay, they want to see, they want to listen and gain the knowledge, and they're going to reflect upon it, that what did they observe out of it. Okay, they are called as divergers. And there are further another set of students who wants to first observe things around them, and then they are going to think about it, what did they observe. They are called as assimilators. And there is again another set of students who likes to think first, and then they wants to apply their knowledge to the experiments they want to do. So these are called as convergers. So these are four different types of learners when it comes to Kolb's model. So I think all the attendees are understanding what I'm saying, or do you want to add something to this? Okay, I'm getting responses. Yes, Prime Steps International School, you have raised your hand. Want to add something? Okay. Yeah. So there is another model, a kind of similar to that of Wolf and Kolb's model, that is Honey and Mumford's learning style. So even this is the same thing, you could say, but with the different words. So here we are dividing the learners again into four types, that is activist, reflector, theorist, and pragmatist. So As I have said earlier, that certain students want to do tasks first and then they want to reflect upon it. So such types of learners are here called as activist, because they likes to, do maximum of experiential task, or you could say more of lab work, and then they want to think about certain, based on their instincts they do things, and then they try to reflect upon it, ki what did they do actually, and how did it work, etc. Then there is another set of students called as reflectors. So they first try to reflect upon the knowledge based on all the observations. Okay, they are going to reflect upon it, on their experiences, and then they'll think about, trying to observe it and understand things. Then there are theorists who will observe all the knowledge which they have gained through the activities and their observations, and they'll try to know the principles of it, that how it is being done, mostly the theoretical part, you could say. And next comes pragmatist, who will first develop the methodology, that how to do it based on all the theoretical knowledge already they knew. They will try to design these experiments, or try to design or do more of creation work. So those are called as pragmatists. So these are different types of learners according to Honey and Mumfords. Yeah. So till here we have seen different foundational models. So I would just give you a set of questions and try to ask you. These are quite simple. I think you can answer them. So first situation is, a teacher asks students to observe a chemical reaction, record what happens, and then reflect on the results. So can anyone tell me how can you relate it with the learning models which you have seen earlier? Yeah? Or is it difficult to answer? Yes. When students are trying to observe, so is it an empty vessel or a blank, the blank plate? I'll just show you the models once if it is difficult. Yeah. So is it empty vessel, blank tablet, behaviorist, or
Behaviorist.
dones and don'ts?
Yes.
Yes.
Empty vessel.
Empty vessel.
It will be behaviorist because it is including practical hands-on experience.
Uh, okay. So here we are asking the students to observe a chemical reaction. Okay. And they are recording what is happening, and then they are reflecting upon the result.
This can be empty vessel, ma'am, because they are taking the information
Yeah.
that we are providing to them.
So the teacher is
Okay.
providing everything
And
to them.
whatever we are providing, they're only observing that thing and answering us.
Mhm.
I mean, brainstorming themselves and then giving us answers.
Okay. So actually, empty vessel tells us that the student is just, you could say that he doesn't have any prior knowledge. We are assuming that. And then the teacher is the one who is giving information or pouring knowledge into that empty vessel. Okay. So here there is no mention of such thing, that whether the student has a prior knowledge or not. So we'll see this. Okay. We'll keep this on hold. And we'll move to the next one. So, a school runs a traditional lecture where students listen quietly and take notes without interaction.
This is Kolb's experiential learning. The reason here it is first initially the reflective observation is happening,
I think here
followed
it is the empty vessel model. With the,
followed by the abstract conceptualization, and then finally the active experimentation because reflecting on the results.
It is empty
Ma'am,
vessel.
your voice was not visible. Sorry, audible.
Okay, so initially there was an observation observing the chemical reaction, so that is where reflective observation, then followed by recording, that is where abstract conceptualization is happening, followed by the reflecting on the results, that is the active experimentation, so which is a philosophy of Kolb's experiential learning.
Yes. So it's Kolb's experiential learning, which talks about, as we have seen here earlier, that we are reflecting upon the experiments which is being done, and then the students try to observe what the experiment was done, and then they are going to reflect upon it and develop theory. So there are various aspects within the Kolb's theory. So this is one of it. Then an instructor provides rewards for correct answers and feedback for mistakes in a spelling exercise.
behaviorist.
Yes, correct. Then student comes with no prior information on a topic and are guided to discover knowledge through experiments and observations.
Empty vessel.
Empty vessels. No prior, it is an empty vessel, ma'am, with no
Sorry,
prior knowledge.
no
It's an
prior
empty
knowledge.
vessel because some students come with no prior knowledge, information on the topic they mentioned. It.
Okay, it could be blank tablet
Blank page.
also, right?
Yeah, it could
It
be blank
can be,
tablet as
it
well.
can be, yes, ma'am. It can be.
Yes. A trainer asked learners to write down what they learned after a session, reflect on what works and what didn't. To write down on what they learned after a
Okay,
session, reflect.
divergent,
Be behavioral.
divergers, reflective
Yes,
observations.
yes, that is Kolb's theory. You're right.
What's theory? Yes,
So
ma'am.
yeah, so let's see the answers. Rita, ma'am, do you want to say anything? Okay. So we have seen already the Kolb's, and traditional lecture is actually the empty vessel, because here it's just a traditional method of learning, right? When you take a blackboard and when you write down and just teach students, that is just a normal way of conveying knowledge. So you're just pouring the knowledge into the vessel, which is the student. So that is why it is an empty vessel. And providing rewards is behaviorist, and no prior information is blank tablet, and the last being the Kolb's again. So moving forward, different instructional models of learning. So there are different models in which the instructions can be based I mean, there are various instructional models available. First being the 5E model. So we'll see two of them in very much detail. That is 5E, that is it has five elements, that is engage, explore, explain, elaborate and evaluate. So an extended version of 5E is nothing but 7E, which has elicit, engage, explore, explain, elaborate, evaluate, and extend. So it has two additional E's, one added at the first, at the start, and one added at the end. Then there is something called as De Bono six thinking hats. So these are nothing but six colors of different hats. Okay, and each one conveys a different aspect. For example, when you talk about white hat, it's all about factual information, the data, the you could say the evidences which are provided to the students. So that factual information is the white hat. Then there is something called as red hat, which deals with emotions, feelings, your intuitions, or gut, you could say the gut reactions, etc. Then there is something called black hat, which deals with the judgment part, which is caution, the weaknesses or any risk involved or any problems involved. Then coming to yellow hat is all about optimism. That is what all benefits the students gain from this, what are the opportunities available. Then green hat is all about creativity, that is new ideas which the students come up with, or any alternatives or any possibilities, etc. And blue hat is all about the process, that what is the overall big picture of this. Okay, and what the students are how they are going to organize this entire events is all about this blue hat. So why am I saying all these different hats is because in this particular technique, what we do is that each time a particular hat, if we consider that each time we take up a particular hat and wear it, we are thinking from that particular perspective only. Keeping in mind all other hats are kept at separate place, and we just wore one particular hat and think from that perspective. That is called as this de bono six thinking hats. For example, if I take up one event, for example, the independence, India's independence 1947. So in that particular event, when I wear a white hat, I'll teach students only about the factual information, that what happened in that particular event. And a red hat, if I wear, I'll talk about the emotions, what might be the emotions the I mean the people who were there during those times might have faced, what things they might have felt. So when we talk about that particular perspective, it is red hat. Then black hat, we try to think about it and judge the particular incident. Then that is black hat. Then yellow hat, if I wear, then we'll talk about what are the positive aspects of it. Like, we have got the freedom, right? So that is a positive aspect. So that perspective you will think when you're wearing a yellow hat. Green hat is about creativity, that what new ideas during those times they might have come up with, or what they could have done during those times. So this kind of creative or new idea generation comes with the green hat. Blue heart is all about processing or thinking about the big picture, that okay, so and so incident has happened, we got the independence, so next what is the future step, or what are the future perspectives of this. So all these kind of information the student is going to get by thinking with different perspectives. So this is all about de Bono's model. Now coming to ADDIE model. So, as the name here, it's given on the slide that each letter indicates a particular element, that is to analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. So, first coming to analyze. Can anyone tell me why it is coming? So, at the start, you are saying that you need to analyze something. So, what it could be? So, when you start a particular session or a particular chapter, for suppose, you're analyzing it. So, what are you analyzing here? What do you actually start a chapter with? Yes?
Maybe a problem or a
Uh,
question.
You
Students' previous knowledge.
previous knowledge? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So previous
Mm,
knowledge, you're analyzing it. Other than that, you are analyzing that what are the learning outcomes, or what are going to be the learning outcomes at the end of the chapter? What are going to be the goals? That why you're even teaching this particular chapter, what students are going to learn from this chapter. So all these aspects you're going to analyze. Rajita ma'am, do you want
I
to
have
say
a
something?
question here. I will have a question here. So I'm looking
Yes.
at the perspective of the child. If I use, can I use this model
Hmm.
for a child? If there is a, if I'm doing a project-based learning, and I give them a problem, so when they analyze a problem and try to come up with a solution. In order to come up with a solution, first they have to design. Once
Hmm.
they design it, they have to develop. Once
Hmm.
they develop it, they have to implement it.
Hmm.
Once they implement it, that's when they know what are the pitfalls there, whether it um, really solves the issue or the problem at hand. They
Hmm.
evaluate, and then when they evaluate, in a way they analyze as well, and they go back to design. So it's a kind of circle where until
Circle.
they get the end product,
Hmm.
they just go. It's a circle, as I told you.
Yes,
So in
yes.
the process, they of course learn. So is it only for teachers they can use it, or can the students also use in the process and learn through the process?
Sure, ma'am. Even students can learn. That is why we have given these as models of learning, right? So not only for teachers, but students as well. That not only when it comes to starting the chapter or learning or going through a particular chapter, but in various aspects of information, as you have said, be it a project or be it a life skill or anything they are going to gain a knowledge, they can go it, or you can say they can do it in a form of structured format. So this ADDI method you can actually follow in any aspect of learning. So as you have clearly said that how in a project you can actually implement this particular model. So yes, we can do that. So I think, yeah. So let's move forward. Gagne's 9 events of instruction. So here, instead of giving 7 elements or 5 or 6 elements, which we have seen earlier, Gagne's gives us 9 events of instruction. So what are they? Is first is gaining attention. Okay. And then inform the objectives, gaining attention of the students, because when you start I'm taking into consideration about a particular chapter, for suppose gaining attention of the students is the priority, because until and unless all the students are attentive towards the class, they are not going to listen to the entire class which you are going to take. So first, gaining the attention of the students is important. After that, informing the objectives, that what are the learning objectives for this particular chapter. Then stimulate recall. So as I said, the prior knowledge of the student must be tested. They must recall all the information which they already know before they move forward. And then coming to presenting the content, that whatever is there in that particular chapter, you are making the students acquainted with it. Then provide guidance to them, that how they need to learn, or what is the easier way of grasping this particular knowledge. Then elicit the performance, that how how the students are performing. That is, you're evaluating the students using different questions, and then feedback. You give them the feedback that how did they actually perform in this test, then assess the performance overall, that how did they actually perform, and then enhance their retention. So how do you enhance retention? When you ask them to give a summary of this entire session which has taken place. So that is how they are going to enhance their retention when they recall all the concept they have learned. So these are the nine, you could say, the events which are given by Gagne. So from here onwards, I'm going to take you through the books of Next Science and also the Next Spark, which are our next education products. So what we have done is, within the philosophy of our book, we have implemented this particular approach, which I have told you about, the 5E and 7E. So when it comes to lower grades, the Next Science books, we have followed a 5E instructional model. So I'll just take you through those pages for your understanding. So first, when it comes to 5E model, we start with engage. So engage is where you engage the students or check their prior knowledge. So that is how whenever we start a chapter in our next science books, we start with a jump start. So jump start is nothing but a set of questions which we have given to the students, which are based on the prior information which they already know in the previous classes or in the previous lesson, if it is connected to this particular chapter. So we have given a set of questions. So before you move into the chapter, you actually discuss these questions in the class and know that how much of the content students already know. So if they are lacking in that prior knowledge, you can make them recall it before you start the chapter. So that is one way of doing it. And also we have given a discussion box for every sub concept of the chapter, so that you can discuss this in the class, the topic which is given in the discussion box, so that a kind of rapport is built within the students and the teachers before you start the chapter. So this is how the engage part of the 5e model is implemented. Next comes the explore of 5e model. So explore is all about exploring using activities and experiments. So science subject, specifically here I'm talking about. So in the science, activities and experiments are given. There is activity time and fun time given in our books for every chapter. So that's how the students are going to perform these activities, or teacher might demonstrate in front of the students. And students are going to learn by seeing or learn by doing. Okay, so this is how the explore section is inculcated in our books. Next comes the explain element. So here explain is all about explaining the core concept. So this is where the teacher plays a very prime role, where all the concepts are explained using the content which is given in the book. There are certain illustrative diagrams, and sometimes fun poems are also given to keep the students engaging while the teacher takes the class. So all these kind of elements you could see in the book. And apart from the concept which has been taught, there is let us recap, which is nothing but the summary of the entire chapter, glossary, which all comes under this explain section of the 5e model. And also the teachers note, there are certain instructional, you could say, advices given to the teachers at the end. So at the end of certain concepts or activities, which will act as an additional, you could say, additional content which the teacher can actually teach to the students, or there's a small activity given for the teacher, that if she performs that particular activity, students will be able to understand that concept more better, etc. Then there is elaborate section of the 5e model, as I have told. This is the fourth E. And elaborate model or elaborate element is all about encouraging the learners to analyze all the complex scenarios and make it into a simpler form, or to connect what they already know into a real life application, or in the real life they have to connect the knowledge which they have built. That is elaborate section. So for that we have given various facts in the book. And also there is a life skill section at the end of the chapter, which will ask students to implement the knowledge which they have learned in this chapter to the real life. For example, if there is a chapter on water, and prime life skills which they can learn out of this particular chapter is to save water, because again, saving water is very much important, as due to our, the global situation or our country's situation. At a global level, you could say saving water is very essential right now. So when they learn about this particular chapter, we also tell the students why saving water is important by giving certain small activities, or you could actually call them as life skills here. We generally ask students to make a poster, or raise a campaign, or a simple activity based on their grade level. We generally give this activity, so all these comes under the elaborate section. And finally comes the evaluate. So after you teach a particular concept, it is very much important for the teachers to evaluate the students whether they have understood it or not. So for every concept or for every sub concept, we have given a set of questions, that is, let us try. And also at the end of the chapter, you have certain exercises for the complete evaluation for that particular chapter. So this is how the 5E instructional model is followed in our books. Now coming to the 7E approach. So I hope everyone is with me. Yes? Yeah, thank you for the responses. Uh, yeah, 7E instructional model. Here, there is a E which has been added at the start. I have told you earlier, that is elicit phase. So this 7E model we have followed in our next science books for the higher grades, grade 6 to 8, and also in our next Spark series, which is for the lower grades, we have followed the 7E approach. Yes, Satish, do you want to say something?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I am Rita Kumari from SN Mary International School at Muzaffarpur, Bihar.
Okay.
Due to uh,
You're on mute, ma'am. All right, let's move forward. So 7E model is followed in our next science books for grade 6 to 8, and also in our Spark series of grades 3 to 6, we have followed the 7E model of, you could say, instructional model. First is the elicit aspect. So elicit is again to capture the learner's interest, to motivate them towards that particular chapter. So for that, we have various elements in our books. So we'll go through them one by one. So as chapters, when it comes to these particular books, actually starts with real life applications. So here we are connecting the concept which they're going to learn in this chapter with technological aspects. That is, what is a real life application for learning this particular chapter? Because without knowing the utility of that particular chapter or the content which is there in that chapter, the students will not be motivated enough to read that chapter. That is the reason we have connected it to the technological aspect of this particular, whatever the concept they are going to go through in this. Next, second page, if you see, of the chapter is the concept map, where we are giving in a flowchart form that what all concepts they are going to deal with, what all sub concepts they are going to deal with in this chapter. Then comes the curiosity bridge. This is again a particular interesting aspect in the book. This is again comes under the elicit phase. Here we are providing a virtual field trip to the students, because it's not possible for all the schools to take students for field trips on and off often. So that is the reason we have provided virtual field trips to the students in the form of a comic strip, where they go to a particular place, they explore that area, and through dialogues, and this we have in turn connected with the concept which they're going to read in that chapter. For example, here you could see there is a safari in a national park, the image which is given at the center. So here we are talking, we have taken students to the safari. It works as a virtual field trip. So here the the character is actually talking about, you could say, the park, the how much population of lions which are there, okay, and how the lion population has been monitored. So that is done through temperature thermal cameras. So that is how we are starting the chapter of temperature. Okay, so this is a very interesting aspect in our books. Now coming to the engage phase. So we have seen elicit where we are capturing the learner's interest. Now comes the engage phase where we are checking the prior or prerequisite knowledge of the students. So this in this book we have something called as a quick check, which will test the prior knowledge of the students. So after the teacher knows the amount of knowledge the students already have, based on that she'll move forward to the next chapter. I mean to the content of the chapter. And then comes the explore phase. So explore phase is all about the experiments and activities. So we have provided n number of activities for every chapter, and there are QR codes provided beside it if the student wants to explore or if the teacher wants to show the activities to the students, because all the activities cannot be done in the class, because for every chapter we have given around 6 to 7 activities. It's not possible to be taken it in the class. So that is the reason we have provided QR codes where students could actually look into the videos of it and watch the experiment and learn. Okay, so the visual learners, you could say, and then draw the observation out of it and get the inference. Similarly, we have another aspect called inquire like a scientist. You can see on the right, this inquire like a scientist page is there for every chapter at the end. So here we have followed the format of research based analysis, that is first to draw the learning objective, then to know the materials required, then do the procedure, observation and inference. So this is the general format which anyone who does a science experiment follows. So in this inquire like a scientist element, what we did is in some chapters we have provided learning objective and procedure. The students need to write down the materials, or in certain cases the procedure is not given, materials are given. Based on that, the students need to write the procedure. So that's how they're going to think like a scientist, right? So just give me a minute. Yes. So this is the explore phase. And we also have a science behind the game. So here you could see interesting in an interesting way we have actually combined science with a game. Yes. So in this particular book, the students are going to learn, they have already learned about the components of food, or what are the good and bad habits in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So based on that, we have designed the snake and ladders. So student can actually learn things by playing a game. Right. And also there are various hands-on activities provided at the end of the book. So student can actually explore them, learn by doing. Yes, experiential learning is what we say. So that is what students are going to do using these activities. Next comes the explain phase of the 7E model, that is to explain the core concepts of the book, so or of the chapter. So for every concept we have given a QR codes which will actually take you to the audiovisual module which is related to this particular concept. So for the visual learners it would be easy because they will learn by seeing things, seeing a video. And also you could see mainly we have followed an illustrative format where the images are provided, and in the labels we have explained the concept. So this would be easy for the students to get the information. And also the mind map we have provided at the end of the chapter, which will give a complete summary. So instead of giving a letters recap section, we have given a mind map, because this will be more informative and also easy for the students to recapitulate the entire chapter. Then moving forward, we have elaborate section. So elaborate section in the 7E, which talks about analyzing the complex scenario, connecting it to the real life. So in this aspect, we have many elements, be it the elaborate content, some extra information for the students, which they'll be, keen to know. And there is, yes, Sita Singh. Okay. So the legends is all about the scientist, the prominent scientist who has worked upon that particular concept we are discussing in the chapter. Misconceptions and facts, because science you can find n number of misconceptions, and we have given those misconceptions here and also gave the fact related to it. Then various brain teasers, did you know, and in general there are various facts which are given in the chapter. So here there are certain screenshots for you to look at, that these are the elements which comes under the elaborate section. Then evaluate. Evaluate is all about evaluating the students based on how much the information they have retained. So this we have done through various aspects. Like for every session, at the end of session, you could find a let us try. This will help even for the teachers, that if they wanted to know that how much the students have understood a particular concept which you have taught in the class, if you want to know that, this let us try section is going to help you. Because if the students are able to solve these questions, that means they have understood. If not, you need to come up with a different way in which you could teach the students to make them understand this. And also there are various chapter exercises given at the end of the chapter, and also the extend section which talks about extension of this evaluation part itself, that we have a separate student book which have different home assignments which the students could assign to the students to do at their home, and that is going to be the extension part, that is the last part of the 7E approach. So this is all about the 7E. I hope everyone are with me. Yes, thank you. Now let us test your knowledge about how much you have gained in this session. So there are certain situations like earlier, and you need to say that what E does it comes to, whether it comes to engage, explore, explain, elaborate, evaluate, etc. So, so a teacher shows a mystery object and asks students, what do you think this is and how does it work? So teacher is showing a particular object and asking that what does student know about it. So what do you think it comes under? Yes. So whether it comes under engaging, exploring, explaining, elaborate or evaluate. Yes, Nishant.
Ma'am, this comes under the 7E model. I think the first step, elicit.
Elicit. Okay, to capture the learner's interest you're saying. Or are we checking the prior
Yes,
knowledge of
to
the
also
student?
know the prior knowledge.
Yes. So we are giving a student a particular object and asking what they already know about it. So that is, we are checking prior knowledge of the student. So it comes under engage. Now, students work in groups to test how plants respond to sunlight using simple experiments.
Explore.
Explore. Correct.
Explore.
Correct.
Explore.
Correct.
Explore.
Yes.
Explore.
Thank you. Thank you for the response. Yes. Moving forward, after experiments, the teacher clarifies concepts like photosynthesis and links it to the student's observation.
Explain.
Yes, yes,
Explain.
correct, correct. Next, students present findings and take quizzes to demonstrate understanding.
Evaluation.
Explain.
Yes.
Yes,
Evaluation.
Evaluation.
evaluation, correct. Teacher,
Evaluation.
yes, teacher asks what prior knowledge helps explain your observations.
Evaluate.
Prior knowledge. Yes, the teacher is asking that what prior knowledge does a particular student has based on the observations.
Recall.
And
Elaborate.
Okay, let me tell you. It is
Engage. Engage.
yes,
Engage.
it is.
Engage.
It is
Engage.
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 Yes.
Yes.
Then learners conduct a hands-on simulation of tectonic plate movement. They are conducting.
Experiment.
Okay,
They are
among the
conducting
7E.
experiment.
Experiential reality.
Experiment.
Okay, I'll tell you the
Nothing
7E.
but
Explore.
Elicit,
Explore.
engage, explore, explain, evaluate.
Explore.
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 Yes, yes, correct. Students relate earthquake effects to local disaster preparedness.
Explore.
They're
Elicit.
not doing any experiment here. They are trying to go beyond the concept they have learned and trying to relate it
Evaluate.
with something.
Evaluate.
Elaborate.
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 They are elaborating their knowledge. They are trying
Yes.
to go
Now,
beyond what they have learned.
Elaborate.
Yes. Elaborate.
Yes. So this is the result. So one of the attendee has told me this mystery object and asking the students. So that is elicit. She is right. Okay. Now we are going to check what are the different approaches to pedagogy. We have already seen the different learning models. What are the different foundational learning models, different types of learners in the class. And now we are dealing with what are the different approaches you can actually implement in class with respect to the pedagogy. Okay, so we have something called as constructivism. Constructivism is where you think, where you consider that you're constructing upon the knowledge. That is, the student already has some prior knowledge, you're constructing about it, you're giving more information to the students. So this is again child centered. And learners, they construct knowledge through their own experiences, play. It all depends on the teacher, that how she is making the students face different experiences, play, and how she's making them to reflect. So here main key point is that teachers are the facilitators here. Okay, so they are not just the knowledge providers, but they are the one who is making the students construct the knowledge. Okay, so how can this be done is that using KWL charts. I'm giving an examples here. KWL charts are nothing but where you could say, first the student makes a chart about what knowledge he knows already, okay, and what knowledge he has gained through this particular process, and what he wants to learn further. Okay, and how much knowledge he has already want to accumulate further when it comes to this aspect. Then project work and also play. So these are different ways, hands on experiences, or you could say hands on activities. All these comes under this constructivism. You could say, you could relate all these aspects to this particular pedagogy. Next, social constructivism. So as the name itself tells you, that it depends on the social aspect, that how the student is interacting with his fellow classmates. So it all depends on the collaboration. So when you frame certain activities such that they have collaborative aspect, they are doing a group activity together, where teacher is guiding the students to do certain group activity, or which involves certain social interaction, then it is social constructivism. Okay, so teacher is the model maker, and she is the one who is facilitating the students to do this group work. Next is behaviorism. So we have already seen what behaviorism is, that actually deals with the behavior, or you could say the teacher is the one who is building upon knowledge within a student based on his or her behavior. It all works on the reward mechanism. Then liberationism. So it actually deals with the democratic aspect, that is, all the students have a say, or it actually depends on a fact that all the students are priority. So not all the students are treated equally, and everyone is given a preference in this particular pedagogy. It is student voice centered, and again it is collaborative, socially conscious, especially when it comes to social science aspect. You could say that we have to make the students more socially conscious based on their environment, and also discovery driven. So they have to come up with new ideas when it comes to a concept, that why this can be, I mean, when you do a particular experiment, they can come up with ideas that this could be done in some another way as well. So this is called as liberationism. So it's mainly a student led choice. The learners are going to select the topics here. They are going to come up with creative outputs, that how the performance needs to be done, or how the activity needs to be done. So they are expressing whatever learning they have gained. So this is all about liberationism. Moving forward, inquiry based learning. I think this term is quite popular. So can anyone tell me what is inquiry based learning? So it's already given here anyways. Yeah.
Investigation.
Okay. Any more inputs?
Yes.
Students ask questions related to the topic and they just want to clear their doubts about the topic.
Yes. Yes. Anyone?
Inquiry based learning is, it could be the whole class inquiring into one topic, or a child can choose a topic,
Mm-hmm.
and based on their questions, they must definitely have some questions. They try to find out more information about it,
Hmm.
and they go approach um, first-hand resources, and the second-hand resources, like meeting people, interviewing them first, and who have already have experience or working in the field. and then look at videos and resource materials to get more information. So they are inquiring into their the questions and find out more about it, and get into deep inquiry into the same topic further, and show it to the audience, basically.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct,
Explain
we
ma'am.
it.
do on basis of set of questions
Ma'am,
and answers.
it's
Yes.
Learning is connected to real world scenarios and problems.
Mm-hmm. I think
Then
someone has. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I got it.
students develop critical thinking, problem solving, and analytical skills. And they ask the open-ended questions that encourage the explorations and investigations.
Yes. So inquiry based learning is where constructing the knowledge comes later. I mean, the knowledge part which they are
ma-
going to gain. Yes, ma'am.
yeah,
Rovina.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like a brainstorming session before you introduce a topic.
Correct. Correct. So brainstorming, or you could say when it comes to science, especially doing any activities or any hands-on experiments comes first, and based on what they have done, they are going to derive the knowledge out of it. So, or else when it comes to the social aspect, social sciences, you could say they could perform certain, analyze certain case studies or do some interviews or read some articles, and based on that, they're going to come to the core concept. Yes, Anita ma'am, you have raised your hand. Do you want to add anything? Okay. So that is inquiry based learning. Thank you all for your responses. So moving forward, next is Socratic method. So in Socratic method, teacher is going to guide the students with probing questions. So teacher is the one who is going to ask the questions, as one of you has said about open ended questions, right? So that comes under Socratic method, where teacher is asking open ended questions to the students, and the students are going to reflect upon it, and they are going to do some critical thinking and logical reasoning about it, and they're going to answer these questions. So here you could say inner outer circle dialogue is one of the example for Socratic method. Do anyone of you know about this inner outer circle dialogue? Have you ever heard about it? It's a kind of discussion activity which has been. Yes, yes, many people has raised hands. Yes, you can answer. Yes, do anyone know about it? Inner outer circle dialogue?
Yeah, yes, we do.
Yes, ma'am.
What we usually do is inner outer circle, we usually use it for once we introduce a topic and some kind of knowledge is already gained, we use this kind of strategy to find out how much the students have already gained, and to just share, like how we say, like think and pair share activity kind. This is how we use inner outer circle strategy
Yes,
generally.
yes. So this is kind of a discussion mechanism where two circles are being formed, concentric circles, you could say. That is, there is an inner circle of students and there's an outer circle of students. Uh, I mean, encircling this inner circle. Okay, so the inner circle students are the one who are going to do the talking part. So they are going to answer certain questions, and they again going to cross question their peers who are there within the inner circle, and outer circle students are the one who are going to listen and reflect upon it, and again ask questions. And again there is a swap of the circles, where the outer circle one goes to inner and inner goes to out. So this kind of dialogue practice is one of the example for Socratic method, because teacher is the one who actually gives the questions to the students to discuss upon. Okay.
Uh, yeah, ma'am, this kind of it could be also be played in form of a game wherein
Yes.
the inner circle keeps moving the in a like clockwise and the outer circle moves in anti-clockwise, and so each student gets different questions, different observations, uh,
Yes.
and different way. Yeah.
Yes, that is a very, actually, it's a very interesting practice which everyone can implement in their class if they, as a part of implementing different pedagogies into their teaching. So, there's very interesting part, I could say. Moving forward, problem based learning. Again, solving the problems is the key point when it comes to problem based learning pedagogy. So, it's nothing but real world situations, or you could say scenarios are given to the students, and students need to solve those issues, or you could say come up with more ideas how that particular issue can be solved. So be it a maths problem, or in general a global problem, or anything related to that, developing skills and knowledge simultaneously, because knowledge they already know, and they are implementing that knowledge into solving a particular issue. So that is problem based learning. And as one of the attendee has told about brainstorming, so that actually you can say is well suitable in this particular pedagogy, because the students are brainstorming to come up with ideas, right? So this is how this particular pedagogy goes. Next is collaborative pedagogy. This is again very simple, as the name suggests, that it deals with peer to peer interaction, that the students are interacting among themselves in order to critically think about a particular issue, or a bit about a particular you could say the concept which is given in the book, etc. And for one aspect or one example which we can give is a gallery walk. So even though this generally we don't implement this practice in general, but I'm just saying here in for the sake of an example, that when you go ask the students to go to a science exhibition, for suppose, they are going to walk around in small groups, and they're going to analyze what all models are present, and what materials was used, what could be the principle behind it. So they're brainstorming within themselves, and also collaborating within a group, and trying to understand what has been kept as a model in the exhibition, right? So that is collaborative pedagogy. Again, integrative pedagogy. So integrative pedagogy is again about real world experiences itself. So they are going to connect it with the concepts they have learned in the this is more about deeper understanding what they have gained, and how they are going to apply it. So community service projects, especially the volunteering part, okay, or the tutoring or fundraiser part. So there has to be a motto, right, that why they are going volunteering a particular event, or why they are tutoring a particular set of students. So all this comes under you could say applying the concept they have learned to real world. Next is reflective pedagogy. This is again, as the name itself indicates, it's all about reflecting the knowledge, or the students deep dive within themselves and try to reflect upon that what all things have been learned in the class. They want to improve the learning outcomes, that whatever they have learned, whether they have understood it or not. So for that, there are certain conversation stations, for suppose, where again there is discussion on whatever things has been done in the class, whether the students understood it or not. Okay, so all this aspect comes under reflective pedagogy. Next is critical pedagogy. So this is again more suitable for social sciences, you could say, where you are linking the education to the social justice, equity, and awareness part. Okay, so this is a flipped classroom. This is again a important, I mean not important but interesting one. Can anyone tell me what is flipped classroom? Any idea about it? Have you ever come across this flipped classroom concept?
We give them
Student
PDF
will be given a task of
Yes,
doing
we
something
do.
reading
at
a
home,
sentence
and
and
then
they come prepared.
he's coming
Yes.
So
back
that
to
Where the
focus
students
that
become the
add on the
teachers.
knowledge.
It's
Yes.
online and like the classroom teaching, both hybrid.
Actually, flipped classroom is like a pre-read session, where the students are going to do the reading part or understanding a particular concept. So that part is done at their home, and they're going to come back to the class where the teaching doesn't happen, but the students are the one who will be acting as an instructioner, or they are going to tell us in the class that what they have already understood based on the concept they have read at home. Okay, so that is flipped classroom. Yes. Next is culturally responsive teaching. So this is again a kind of teaching pedagogy where teacher keeps in mind about the different cultural background of the students. Okay, and try to adapt to it and make the students understand the concept which has been taught. Okay, so this is mainly for the equitable access to the learning, that no one has to be kept at the backbencher as a backbencher, and everyone should be given equal access to the learning by keeping their cultural background into uh, picture. So the learning stations here, you could say some students actually prefer learning through games and videos, reading. So varied activities a teacher could actually come up with for the diverse learners. So that is culturally responsive teaching. So yes. So there are few topics left. So I'll just take you through them. Child-centered construction, constructivist. So this is again, actually what we have gone through till now is the different teaching pedagogies, right? So as you can see that most of them are overlapping with themselves. So there are certain aspects of a particular pedagogy which matches with the another pedagogical aspect. So what I have done is I have grouped them into a particular category so that you could understand that what each of them deals with. For example, when you say child centered, then you have various approaches which we have seen, like constructivism, social constructivism, inquiry based learning, integrative pedagogy. So all these are child centered. Then comes teacher centered, which is actually the traditional one, behaviorism. We have seen at the start of the session that is actually a teacher centered of learning. Then collaborative or social, where we have seen collaborative pedagogy and social constructivism. Then critical or democratic or social justice oriented, we have liberationalism. Then this critical pedagogy, culturally responsive teaching, all these comes under this social justice category. Then reflective one, reflective comes under reflective, we have reflective pedagogy, again inquiry based learning, integrative pedagogy. So as you can see that even though there are multiple pedagogies available, all of them overlap with each other. So it is very much essential that you take the important aspect of each one of them and you can implement them in different situations, and or in, you could say, in different scenarios. So it all depends on the teacher that how she is going to implement all these pedagogies into her teaching learning experience. Moving forward, I'm going to just give you a very brief about, you must have already known all this, but I'm just giving you a quick brush up about different teaching methods and techniques. So questioning method, can anyone tell me what is this? When you say questioning method as a particular teaching method, what do you mean by that? I think the word itself tells you. Yes, Rajita ma'am, you have raised your hand.
That was a mistake. Sorry.
Okay.
Ask the open-ended questions or anything related to that concepts. Some triggering questions is what she can ask.
Yes. Arvinder Kaur.
Yeah, so questioning is where you just take the knowledge of the students also and just create a hook for the students to, get into the topic or to check their understanding towards the concept that we are teaching.
Yes. So when you give some trigger questions to the students and before you start a particular concept, and when even while teaching, at the mid of the session or at the mid of concept, when you start asking questions to the students, so that is how questioning method goes. Next
Is
is
actually
lecture method.
sparking the curiosity. It's actually sparks the curiosity of the learner to learn new things.
Yes. Next is lecture method. So can anyone tell me what is lecture method?
Ma'am, lecture method is when we are introducing a completely new topic to the students. Then we can start by explaining them because they don't have any prior knowledge related to that. So that is, I think that is lecture method that comes under the lecture method.
Correct. So lecture method is nothing but the traditional way of teaching where you teach on a blackboard or, on a yes, on a blackboard. So this lecture method generally involves giving the factual information to the students that what that concept is. Next is discussion method. What is that? Yes.
It's a two-way interactive session, ma'am, where the students and the teachers discuss on certain points.
Yes, it can be both student and the teacher discussion or students discussing within the peer groups in with teachers assistance. So both comes under discussion method.
The
So this is
teacher should
again one
give
way
some
of
topic
teaching.
to the students, and students should discuss that among themselves.
Correct,
And
correct.
yes.
Yes. So that is again one way of method which you teachers can actually implement in class. Next is buzz groups. What is that? It's already given on the slide. And even the image of
Specific topic to the
It's
students that
a
they can discuss about in groups
yes, yes,
about the topic.
it's a
yes.
group activity.
Yes, correct. So, as you can see here on the which the image which is given on the right, there are certain houseflies together in a circle, right? So that is how you can form a small group of students. They can discuss certain questions or issues, and other students could watch. And later you can ask another set of students to again discuss certain other set of questions. So that is how you are encouraging everyone to contribute, to communicate in order to build their knowledge, and also that builds their communication skills. So that is buzz groups. Next is brainstorming. This is quite easy. What is brainstorming as a teaching method?
Uh, Ma'am, this is to give a topic and to have a discussion as to what the child knows about it and build in the topic, I mean, build the concept around it.
Yes. So the buzz
And
groups
also,
and the yes, ma'am.
yeah, and also giving them a question or something and asking them for all the possible answers or scenarios they can come up with for the solution.
Yes. So brainstorming is mostly about creativity, because the other discussion method or the buzz group method, which we have seen, where the students are reflecting upon the knowledge which they already have, and that is how they are coming up with answers. But when it comes to brainstorming, we are giving a particular idea to the student, or you could say a situation to the student, and they have to come up with new creative ideas. Okay, so, or you could say a problem solving approach, you could say. So that is all about brainstorming. Role playing, what is that?
Acting out situations.
Correct. So when you give certain characters to the students or a particular situation, the students are going to form a group and they are going to decide upon the characters and enact a situation to understand that concept in a better way. So this develops again practical skills, values, and also problem solving abilities. Moving forward, games or simulation method. So any idea about this?
Playing a game with the topic, ma'am.
Yes, playing a game. I could, or you could say the science behind the game, which I have shown you in one of our books. That is Snake and Ladders, which we have designed out of a particular chapter. So that is again, you could say a game which we have developed. Other than that, simulations, also,
Puzzle.
yeah, puzzles and simulations. Yes. Okay.
Can you show me
Online
first three
quiz.
methods once again?
Once again, sure. Yes, I was talking about the questioning method where the we are checking the
Thank you, ma'am.
or you could say the curiosity. Acha, you got it already? Hello. All
No,
right.
no, just I want to write. That's why.
Oh, okay, okay, sure. So the questioning method is all about asking a certain triggering question to spark curiosity within the students before you start a particular concept, where you are trying to ask the students to deeply think about a particular the concept which you're going to teach. Next is the lecture method, which is nothing but the traditional way of teaching, where you teach a concept to the students, give them all the factual knowledge related to it. Next is discussion method, where you ask the students to discuss among themselves or with the teacher, where the teacher is going to give a questions to the students and they are going to discuss within a group. So this is the discussion method. Moving forward, we have seen games and simulation. Next is demonstration. So when does demonstration come into picture? Yes. When do you implement this demonstration as a teaching method in class?
When we have to show
Experiments.
the experiments to the students,
Experiment
that time we
while
can
doing some
demonstrate the
activities.
experiments in front of them.
Correct, correct.
Basically, it is showing the process and uh, to be followed via
Hmm.
any process we have to explain experiment, basically experiential
Experiments. Yeah.
teaching it is used.
Correct, correct. So demonstrating, as you all have said, so it deals with demonstrating a particular process to the student, be it an activity
It
or
is
an
a teacher
experiment.
centric method. Yeah.
Yes, so this is a kind of building practical knowledge within the students. And if the student is allowed to redo the task which is given by the teacher, that will actually develop psychomotor skills within them. Next is inquiry or discovery method. So can anyone tell me what is this about?
Where
We have
children
We
do a
can
already.
give
project
any
or
project to
something
the
about the
students.
topic and then they
Yes.
try to find out the answers themselves.
Yes.
So any
So
projects,
correct,
so we can
project.
give the projects. Yes.
Yes, yes. So when we give a project to the students, we assign a project to the students. They are going to, get information, collect the data about it. They discover certain new facts from it, and they're going to design that project. So that is how discovery method or inquiry method comes. Yes, so this was all about today's session. And when it comes to this particular learning methods, or you could say the different teaching methods which we have seen, based on that, I have designed a match the following. I think this is pretty easy. Let's see how many of you can answer. Teacher explains facts in a structured way. So these are the different options which you have on the right side.
Lecture method.
Lecture method,
Like
correct. Yes. Students generate ideas freely without judgment.
Brainstorming.
Brainstorming.
Correct, correct. Learners find out knowledge through observation or experiments.
Demonstration. Yes. That is
Demonstration.
inquiry.
Demonstration.
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 Yes. Teachers show a teachers show a process or skill step by step.
Demonstration.
Okay, then what was the third one?
Inquiry.
Inquiry, discovery based.
Okay, let's put it on hold. Let's discuss everything and then you'll come to know what was the third one. Students act out roles to understand
Role
situations.
playing.
Role
Role
playing.
playing.
Yes.
Role play.
Learners work in small groups for quick discussion.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Discussion
That is
method.
also discussion method.
Discussion.
Buzz group
Bus
method.
groups. Bus
Buzz groups.
groups.
But
Buzz groups.
Whole class shares views guided by teachers.
discussion.
Discussion.
Discussion method.
Discussion method.
Discussion method, yes. Students respond to guiding or probing questions.
Questioning method.
Questioning method, right. Real life situations are recreated for practice.
Role
Game.
play.
Game.
Games and simulation.
Simulation, yes. Games and simulations.
Simulation.
So now learners find out knowledge through observation and experiments
Inquiry and discovery.
and discovery method.
Inquiry and discovery methods.
Discovery.
Yes. So any questions to all the attendees? Do you have any questions about today's session? I hope it was fruitful to all of you. You have got knowledge about the different pedagogical models and approaches.
Yes, ma'am. It is very fruitful and very informative. It was very
Yes,
good.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much, ma'am.
Yes, I hope you will implement each one of them whenever the right situation comes up. You will definitely implement all of these approaches in different ways in your classes. Yes. Yeah. So since we are at the end of the session, I think feedback form is link is available in the chat box. Please do fill the form before you leave the session.